Hello my friends and welcome to Fresh Hop Brew Day. Today we are brewing up a Fresh Hop IPA. Super excited for this. Fresh hop beers only come around once a year since really hops you just can't keep them fresh like this for long. Once you pick them you want to throw them into a beer almost immediately. So I picked these yesterday and they are ripe for the brewing. So let's talk about this beer. Some real key things when it comes to brewing fresh hop beers. First of all, you don't want to throw it in through your entire boil. Reason being, we don't know what the alpha acid content is in these hops. Could you do it? Sure, but you have no idea what the bitterness is going to be like at the end of the brew day. So here's what I'm doing. We are going to start with a 1 ounce charge of Chinook. That will give us the bitterness that I want in this IPA. At the end of the boil, that's when we introduce the fresh hops. That will help us extract those beautiful fresh hop aromas and flavors and just make this beer hopefully a real nice, fresh tasting beer. Now, let's talk a little more about adding these hops because there's a real crucial element you should know if you're brewing this yourself. The big thing is these hops will get sucked through your cooling system if you don't have a way to prevent them from getting sucked through the cooling system. In my case, I've got an all-in-one brew system, and the way we're going to prevent that is we are going to use this malt pipe where we have our malt right now for the mash, and we're going to clean that out after the mash and have it ready to go for the end of the boil. We'll pop that in, put our hops in, let it steep for a little bit, and that is how we will prevent it from going through our system. It'll also help because we can pull the basket and then let it drain all the juices back into the kettle at the end of the boil as well. All right, I think that's all I have to say. Let's get into the brew day. Here is what we have cooking. Now at this point, I could just let you watch this video like normal and think that this beer turned out great. It is my video after all. But you know what? I'm not that person, and this beer did not turn out great. So we're going to talk about the important bits here. When it comes to fresh hop beers, I do highly recommend, if you're using an all-in-one system like I am, to use the malt pipe as the hop holder, so that way it doesn't suck all of your hops through your cooling system. That worked great. But that was about all for this brew day. Let's go ahead and fast forward to where I talk about this beer. Well, fellow brewers, we're in my kitchen today, and you might be asking yourself, Sid, why are we in your kitchen today? I'll tell you why we're in my kitchen today. That beer is bad. In fact, let's go dump the rest of that, just so I feel a little better before we talk about it. All right, now that we have that done, let's talk about this beer. What went wrong with it? Well, my guess is that I had to cut the fermentation short and that caused some off flavors to just be produced in the beer. Probably would have cleaned itself up had I left it for a little bit longer, but unfortunately in my circumstance, I had to keg it when I did. We had some housework done and the folks needed to get by where the fermenter was, and that's just the name of the game. Now, as a home brewer, never let this get you down. There's always going to be those beers every so often that you have to dump just because it's just not worth drinking. Sometimes it's a bad recipe, sometimes it's your own fault like my case here, and you just rather not drink it and move on. Grab yourself a beer, come up with another recipe, and cook yourself another beer. That's the beauty of home brewing. You're not limited to anything. Just go out and do another one. All right, well, with all that said, I don't have much else to really say about a bad beer. Has this ever happened to you? Leave me a comment down below and comfort me in these trying times. Anyway, all that said, I'll see you next time, home brewer. Cheers.